Good evening. Hello. Hello, everyone. Hey, Miss Telsha, how are you doing, ma'am? Good evening to you. Hey there, Brenda, how are you? And that's KH Carolina, Irma. Hey there. Hey, Whitney, how are you? Janet, Ron, how are you? Janet, let me see. Andriana. I'm doing great. Thank you. Hey, Arthur, how are you all doing? Hey, Lady B, how are you doing? Orlando in the house. All right. From New Zealand. Well, hey there, New Zealand. Hey, Lady T, Rhonda, Cindy. I am doing great. Thank you for asking. Good evening, Trace. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, New Zealand. You missed me last week? Well, here you are. Hey, Crystal. Hey, A. Ferguson, Miami. Okay. Let me see. Nubia, Angela, and there's Misha. Good evening. You know, I'm not even a St. Louis. I'm not even a sports fan. Hey there, Stevie Bananas. You watching my computer virus? Oh, really? You were watching the broadcast I did? Hey, Judy. Hey, Vicky. And Mac Lee and Freedom Liberty, Arizona. Okay, Arizona is hot. It is hot and dry over there. I don't know in the wintertime, but I know it's hot. Hi, Bonnie, Phoenix, Arizona. All right. Look at there. And it's Tenacious and Yanni Laados in the house. Okay. Hi, Miss Asia. How are you? California. Okay. Hey, Carmen Lisa. How are you doing? Well, hey there, Miss Ruby. Thank you. Hey, Victoria, Oklahoma. Okay. Houston, Texas. All right. New subscriber was that Amari. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me. It's cold night. Okay. Cold and nice during the day. Okay. Well, we're in the Pacific Northwest, so you can imagine it's wet. 110% Super Bowl free night. Oh, okay. Did I interrupt you guys from the Super Bowl? I can always come back tomorrow or Tuesday if you want me now. If I'm interrupting any games, you let me know. Oh, American descent of slavery. Okay. It's over. Oh, okay. It just ended. It's over. Okay. Just ended. You know what, Asia? I know where you at. I know you in Seattle. Thank you, Miss Tracy. Okay, it's over. Okay, so I'm not really a sports fan, but who won? Kansas City won. Okay. Okay. Well, to those of you that are Kansas City fans, congratulations to you guys. Hello, Miss Jeanette. Let's look. Who did I just miss? Kansas City. Okay. Hey, Desiree. 31-20. Okay. You guys make me sound like I'm a sports fan. I know where you at, Asia. I know exactly where you at too. Hey there. Hold on. Let me put my glasses on. I'm trying to clean my glasses. Hold on. Jameson. Hey, Jameson. And that's Susie Scott. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Philly in the house. Well, hey there, Miss Dolly. That's Mama Dolly. How are you doing, ma'am? From New York. Okay. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Brenda. Thank you for your support. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Julie. I appreciate you. Hey there, Miss Candy. Oh, this is the first time you're watching live? Amari. There we go. Amari. Well, thank you so much for trusting me. Thank you. Aussie in the house. So Australia's in the house. Let's see. Jameson, thank you, Miss. Is it Mr. or Mrs. Jameson? Because sometimes that's kind of a neutral name, so I don't want to offend you. Dallas, all right. Hey, New Dawn Arises. Glad I made it. Thank you, Stevie. You're new too? Well, hi, Ms. Rhonda. Welcome. Mama Wolf. Oh, congratulations. So your baby is now a U.S. Marine, a United States Marine. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, thank you, Miss Irma. I appreciate that. Sky Dream. Hey there, Miss Brown, Southern Illinois. All right. Miss Rhonda, you just subscribed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. DC Howard University. All right. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, thank you so much. I just got new glasses too. Hoorah. That's right. Stevie, were you Marine? Hey there, Just Be Real. I was waiting for you guys to come on. Exquisite. Hey there. Hi, Mary. Waving back to Florida. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Tenacious said, who is it? Okay, who is Army. Who hold on, let me get it right. Who is Army. Hoorah is Marines. All right. Janet been doing some self-care. Hey, Tracy. Let's see. Army, that's right. Army is who? Well, hey there, Miss Sharon. Good evening, Miss Carmen Henderson. How are you doing? Let's see, Scott. Thank you for being you. Oh, thank you. You'll be my company while I drive an hour. Oh, cool. So I get to talk for you. I get to talk for a little while. So I got Just Be Real. I got Just Be Real. I got Telsha, and I got New Dawn Rising. So that means I got my moderators. I'm just missing one moderator, and that's over there. That's Asia. Tell Tasha to come on. Now Tasha will blow folks off the screen. So you join the gym, okay? Hey, Brianna, and that's M. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this, so please bear with me. M. Narogi. Okay, I messed that up, but you know I'm talking to you. Hello there. Hey, Trisha. Michelle said I got you live. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. India, Namaste. Is it Namasi or Namaste? Thank you so much. Oh, that's right. You come up here for spring and summer. Let me know when you come. Namaste. I'm sorry, I messed that up real bad, didn't I? Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Telsha, when you come up, let us know when you coming. Spring, summer, you let me know. Make sure I'm not traveling, so I make sure I can meet you. It is Namaste. Okay, Namaste. I thought I said Namaste. Namaste. Okay. Yeah, let me know when you come. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate this, Miss Julie. Jerry with an N. Oh, okay. Jerry do I pronounce the N or do I just say Jerry? Namaste. Okay, thank you. Namaste. Okay. I know, pretty positive place to hang out over here. Now, Jeanette, why are you calling me a Nova? Explain that. Okay, Jerry. Okay. Thank you so much for being patient with me and welcome. It's Chick Baha. Chick Baha. Whatever your topic is. Where am I? I'm in Seattle, Washington. And that's Hipsy Gypsy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Kentucky. Okay, first time. Welcome, Miss Margie. You finally caught me live, Tracy. Nigeri. So it's Nigeri. Okay, Nigeri. Oh, Hong Kong. Okay, hold on a minute. Give me 1 minute. Samara. How do you say hello in Hong Kong? And do I say the Mandarin? Mandarin, or is it, how would someone in Hong Kong say hello? I thought you were studying it. Oh, my bad. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought she was studying Chinese or not Chinese, Mandarin or Cantonese. She's actually studying, okay, Cantonese. Okay, she's actually studying Japanese. So my bad, y'all. I tried, but I do know the bow. It's great seeing you guys too. You can't speak Cantonese? I'm from Kenya. You know what? Why you say Hong Kong? Why you say Hong Kong then? Oh, you're living in Hong Kong. Oh, okay. Oh, how exciting. How exciting. I was trying to make conversation. Well, y'all ready? Telsha, New Dawn Rising, and then of course my buddy Just Be Real. You guys give me 35 minutes, okay? Give me 35 minutes because I am tired this evening. I'm tired. I was working hard this week. So for those of you that have been looking, I know I've been trying to be more consistent with coming back on. You know, it's not that I Konnichiwa is Japanese, but excuse me, Nigeria is in Hong Kong. 35 minutes. Give me 35 minutes. But for those of you know that, you know, this is the beginning of the year. This is when insurance companies are renewing contracts. Well, not all contracts, but they're renewing their, what is it? Their, not their co-pays, but, you know, everything renews on insurance companies. Then, of course, you have to do billing and taxes and stuff like that. Thank you. So for my office, because I am the office, for me, it gets a little hectic. So sometimes I have to pick and choose between making a video and doing my paperwork and seeing clients. So sometimes if I stick in a video, then I'm behind on a lot of things. So it's not that I forgot about you. You guys know I think about you all the time. It's just sometimes I have to, you know, do work, office work. I don't actually know your name. Jeanette, who, me? You don't know my name? Miss Jeanette, are you on my YouTube? Nova, a star showing a sudden large increase in brightness. So I guess I am saying you're always looking bright. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm Carmen. They call me Dr. C. They call me Dr. Bryant. They call me Dr. Carmen. You can call me Carmen. Give me 35 minutes, Telsha. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, though. All right. Let's see here. So I got to get close to the camera because even though I have these glasses on, it's not like the letters are super huge. All right, let's see. You checked out my mentor? She's awesome, huh? Thank you so much for supporting her as well. There you go. You watch me on YouTube? Thank you so much for being there on YouTube with me. Hello, Jill. How are you? No sound? Desiree, go out, click off. Somebody put, for Desiree, put go out and come back in. Tell her to log off and then log back in. Amari said, I've been sad and depressed and wish I could disappear. You need counseling. Go find a good counselor. Go find a good counselor, okay? Ms. Vicky said, I think it's so amazing how you make such time for us, actually, because I enjoy what I do. So I enjoy what I do. And because I enjoy what I do and I love providing you guys with information, you know, when I was going through what I was going through, like many of you guys, I didn't know about these videos. And so really it was my mentor. I worked with my mentor and she worked with me. And then once I got beyond that and I began to understand what I had dealt with a long time ago, you know, I made a vow that, you know, I'm going to stay out of it. I'm going to stay, you know, because I have to co-parent, counter-parent. But I made a promise that I would never go back. And because I would never go back, as you guys know, I'm a believer. I know all of you are not believers, you know, and I respect each one of you have your own religious belief and spirituality. Me, you know, I'm a believer and I made a vow that I would never go back. And I also promised that, you know, once I get to a point that I am healed, I want to give back and I want to educate people. And I want to help people come out of where they're at because this kind of stuff was not available to me. You know, I didn't know anything about this. I didn't know anything about it. When I say didn't know anything about it, I knew what narcissistic personality disorder is, but I didn't know that there was a certain way that these people conducted themselves when you were working with the survivors or the people that were victims. And so I was always working with victims of domestic violence or survivors of domestic violence. But, you know, it seemed like you always hit a wall. It's like, you know, I got to a certain point, but I just couldn't get beyond that point. And then I began and I was teaching them everything that I'm teaching you guys. I didn't know the language. Once I began to understand the language and begin studying, you know, what narcissist abuse is. And it wasn't that I heard the term narcissist abuse at first. I was listening to like gaslighting and this. when I began to listen to it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm teaching people. But now I understand the vocabulary. Let me go study how these people function and how they operate in people's lives. And when I begin to study how these people abuse and how these people function and operate when they abuse people, then I begin making videos. And it was amazing because everyone that came on had almost the exact same story. The exact same story. And most of us was like, do you know him? Do you know her? It sounds like you met them. Hey, Miss Legale, long time no see, classmate. How were you doing? And you still just as beautiful. How were you doing, Grandma? Hey, Mimi. But when I began to teach it, it was amazing how many people would reach out or how many people would say the exact same story. You'd be amazed at how many people have reached out and I have coached. And when you guys tell the stories, you tell almost the exact same story. Different person, different situation. You know, they all narcissists. You know, it's a narcissistic personality disorder. That's a personality disorder. But with personality disorder, people that have these type of personality disorder doesn't mean that they don't have other disorders to go along with it. Some of them have major depressive disorder. Some of them have post-traumatic stress. Some of them are pedophiles. And we're going to talk about pedophiles this week. I want to talk about narcissists that are also pedophiles. Not all narcissists are pedophiles. Not all narcissists have antisocial personality disorder, which is what we used to label as psychopath or sociopath. And by the way, I also want to make this comment. Somebody made this comment last week when I was on live, and it was brought up again. And I went to research it because last week I kind of blew it off, where somebody made the comment that narcissists do not yawn when you yawn. And so I kind of blew it off because, you know, like I said, never stop learning, never stop educating yourself, never stop continuing to educate yourself, especially about narcissism. Every day you're going to find out something new about these individuals because each individual is unique. Well, the people that I've been around or the narcissists that I've been around, I never see them not yawn when I yawn, or, you know, that was not that wasn't really something I paid attention to. But at the same time, you know, I yawn, they yawn. And these were the people that I was around. But it just so happened that someone made a comment the other day on one of my Facebook videos about the yawning. So I went to go research and I found Baylor University did a study of 135 subjects. And in the study of 135 subjects, what they noticed was the higher the psychopathy, the higher the psychopathy and the lower the empathy, the lack of empathy, and the higher the psychopathy, the more what they say, they notice that they didn't catch a yawn. And the reason behind not being able to catch a yawn, meaning that when somebody yawns is contagious, was because of the fact that there's a lack of ability to connect to other people. And so because there's a lack of ability to connect to other people, and there is a lack of lack of empathy, and the higher the psychopathy, which is psychopathy or psychopathy, you can pronounce it both ways. There's a lack of connection. They can't connect with another person in order to yawn. And so the studies actually show that they weren't able to yawn. And so that's true for narcissists who lack empathy. They lack emotional empathy. So lacking emotional empathy, meaning be able to connect with an individual emotionally, meaning to feel what they feel, not to a point where you're an empath. You know, empaths feel everything. And super empaths super feel everything. You know what I mean? But with people that, like, for a narcissist that does not have cognitive empathy, meaning emotional connection to people. Remember, something is wrong with the oxytocin, which is also connected to like mothers that have babies, and that's how you guys connect. And also drug addiction, that oxytocin and the other chemicals cause you to connect. And so they have cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy, meaning they understand emotions. They understand how emotions work. They understand if I do A, B, C, it's like a computer. A computer does not have emotions. All it knows is when you program it in, it does something. It's coded to do something. Well, that's the same way with the narcissist. They have cognitive empathy, knowing it, as they get older, they become better at pushing buttons. They know how to push the buttons to make you do something. They know how to make you cry. They know how to make you laugh. They know when you're angry. They know how to pull you back in. So they know how to manipulate emotions, but they don't know how to connect to people. Even though some of you guys connected to that narcissist, they never connected with you. And a lot of you have talked about it during the sexual encounter between you and the narcissist in the very beginning. A lot of you said that the sex was just wonderful. That's because you emotionally was connected with that individual, but they were never connected to you. And as time went on and as the relationship went on, you begin to notice that there was a lack, there was a missing connection. Everything was mechanical. It's like, do this, do this, do that. Do this, do this, do that. Some of them would only have sex during at night. Some of them come home, take a shower, have sex, go to sleep. And everything is always mechanical. Everything is always the same thing, always the same thing, always the same thing. And a lot of you begin to wake up and think like, wait a minute, there's something very wrong with this. And so, and that's the narcissist with the cognitive empathy versus the emotional empathy. And so when a person does not have, and the studies show that when the person does not have emotional empathy and the psychopathy is high, psychopaths, sociopaths, when it's high, they don't have the ability to connect. And so you'll notice that they're not able to yawn. They don't catch a yawn. They don't yawn when you yawn. So that's what I found. So I apologize to the individual that brought it up last week, and I kind of blew it off like the people that I was around yawn. And maybe, now hindsight is 2020. Maybe they yawned when they got bored, because they do yawn when they get bored, and you're talking, they're bored with the whole conversation because the conversation is not pointed at them. So if the conversation is not about them, of course, they're going to grow bored with anything you have to say. And so I apologize to the individual. I kind of blew it off, but I went back because it was mentioned again, and I went back and studied it, and I found the study. And so please forgive me, but yes, you were actually right. Can it be fixed? Can what be fixed? Narcissism? You have to remember, narcissistic personality disorder is a disorder that usually stems from something in childhood. Something went wrong in the development of the personality. Now, usually children at a young age up to like teens, teens, you can't tell them anything. They're arrogant, they're competitive, BFF, no BFF, so that is a normal process of development from childhood to adolescence to teens. But normally, because you are around your children, you can tell when something is not right. You can look back at some of the children that you have that have narcissism, and you can look back and see where some things were just, they didn't connect right. Something wasn't right, something disconnected. But usually, and there is no definitive answer as to what causes narcissism. For the ones that I have worked with, the ones that had narcissistic personality disorder, those were the ones that usually have had some type of sexual trauma or physical trauma, severe neglect and severe abandonment and rejection issues. Now, there are some that had that trauma, and in order to protect themselves, they cut the emotions off because it was safer not to feel than to feel the pain associated with what they went through. The other ones, on the other hand, could have been raised by narcissistic parents, and they were treated as better than everyone else. They were treated as they were treated like they were entitled. Look at some of the children in Hollywood. The way that they're being raised is they're being raised to be entitled. That little people don't matter. That so empathy is a learned behavior. Empathy is learned. And so with babies, when my kids were little and they would grab a pet, they would squeeze that pet, and I have to tell them no, soft touch, and make the kitty cat cry, or they make the doggy cry. Or if they were like, do something to me and I'll pretend like I'm starting to cry, they will respond back to what we were doing to them. You know how we pamper the baby and we hug the baby. They feel that. So when they're crying, we comfort them and hold them, they reciprocate that. And so what they do is that when you're crying or pretending to be crying, they come over and try to pat you and try to make you stop crying. And they mimic you. But that's how they're learning. They're learning empathy. And so when you have a parent that's disconnected from a child and they're just going through the motions, the child never emotionally connects. So they don't know to emotionally connect with people. They just go through the motions. And there you go, they mimic and become whatever they perceive you need. For a narcissist, they do. Penny said, Dr. C, have you ever experienced a narc stare? Many times. Many times, yes. You got to remember also that there are different types of narcissistic stares. So you have the narcissistic, what's the word I'm looking for? Seductive stare, That's the one where you guys are going to dinner and, she looking at you all sexy and licking her lips and staring at you and just fixated, or he's just checking you out and staring at you and his dreamy eyes, and you're just looking and, oh my gosh, he's so interested in me, or oh my gosh, she's just so interested, she's all into me. They're not into you, they're studying you, and they give you the sexy eye because they're pulling you in, they're seducing you. That's what they're doing. And really what they're doing is they're pulling you in to try to they're studying you. So they're studying you so they can mimic you. How do you talk? How do you act? What is it that I have to say to cause you to do a certain things, or how do you move your hands? And they begin to mirror you. They begin to mirror you. In counseling, one of the things that we learned in the master's level, for those of you that are going into counseling in the master's level, hopefully they still teach this. They teach you to mirror the client. And so if the client is very intense and they're leaning forward, you lean forward with them. If they lay back and they relax and cross their arms, if they cross their legs, because you're giving them a familiar to make them comfortable. And so in therapy, you learn to mimic the client so that they feel comfortable, because they feel comfortable with looking at themselves and what they're doing. And so, hey, Jessica. Hey, Nakia. That's Nakia. Hey, Nakia. But you mirror the client. So we mirror the client. So, they have a sad face. We have a sad face. Now, some of us, it's very natural to do that to make them feel comfortable. But imagine a narcissist is doing the exact same thing. They're mirroring you to make you comfortable. They're mirroring you and showing yourself to yourself. And you're comfortable with yourself. And so that's the seductive stare. Then you guys have, that rage stare, where they look at you and it's like there's nothing in their eyes. Totally blank. Black. Some of you guys have witnessed the black eyes, the angry stare, to kind of force you back into submission, to force you back under their control, or that stare it's almost like a threat, like I'm going to get you, I'll kill you if I can. It's a hateful, rageful, ugly, black-eyed, terrible stare. And some of you guys have experienced red eyes. Yeah, red eyes, or it's like they're just, it's black. Like, where's the pupil? Did the pupil take over the whole eye? But yeah, some of you guys have experienced some of you have experienced the stare. Thomas Rice said, yawn and watch their reaction. I double dare you guys to do it. How many of you guys are still, well, I'm not going to ask the question. Some of you guys who are still with the narcissist, try it and see what happens. Test the theory. It was done at Baylor University. Test the theory and see what happens. Yawn and see whether they catch your yawn. Get away from all narcs. Yep, I agree. Daisy said, yes, my husband had the black eye stare. Very scary. See? Susanna said, why does God want us to do for the narc? Oh, Lord, I'm sorry, y'all. Phone dropped. Sorry about that. Let's try that again. Okay, I missed the question. Where is the question? Susanna said, what does God want us to do for the narc? Pray for them, forgive them, rebuke them in the name of Jesus. What's the correct way to deal with them? What's the Christian way to handle these evil ones? Get away. Get away, because you're going to risk your life. You can risk the life of your children. You can lose your mind. That's a very good question. You can also go to my mentor's YouTube channel, is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. She is the presiding prelate of Into His Chamber Global Ministries. That's my pastor. That's my mentor. And that's my spiritual parent. And she talks about narcissism from a biblical perspective. However, to tell you this, God never asked you to be ignorant either. And so if somebody's hurting you, just like the Honorable Bishop Jakes, the Honorable Bishop, I think it's Bishop R.C. Blakes, as well as my leader, Apostle Helen Sadler, all of them have said the same thing. At one point in time, when in the pastorate, when they were giving counsel to couples, a lot of times they were so focused on the biblical principles of the Bible, pray and stick together, and God hates divorces, just like Bishop Jakes and my mentor and R.C. Blake, Bishop R.C. Blake said, is that a lot of times they didn't realize that they were telling people to go back into abuse. Some of them were actually murdered. Some of them were actually killed. Not only were they killed, children were being sexually abused, sexually molested. Women were being murdered. Women were being totally abused. And so, all I can tell you is this, as a believer myself, a lot of you guys are not, I respect that, but God never wants you to stay in a situation that's killing your soul or killing your mind. You need to get out, and that's why he has anointed and blessed people to be able to do counseling, that have domestic violence shelters and resources to help you out of the situation. If you stay in a situation, you can't justify it by, I love him and I love her, and then you know that you are being totally abused. You're about to lose your mind and slob at the side of your mouth. There are many people, like I said in my last video, I can only imagine the minds of people that are in state hospitals that totally lost their minds. You don't know what pressure they were under and what has happened. I know a person personally that whose aunt lost their mind because they were so in love with a man that just discarded them. 9 times out of 10, I think it was probably a narcissist, but she totally lost her mind. And she never had schizophrenia, but the schizophrenia, that's the diagnosis, but totally lost her mind when this man left. Had a psychotic episode that has been like that all her life after that. So I can only imagine people that are in a state hospital. What was it that was so bad that caused them to lose contact with reality? And so my best advice to you is get with a good domestic violence counselor, a domestic violence advocate. Those of you that have children, be aware that and I don't know what state you're in, but in state, I suggest that you go 16 minutes. Okay. I suggest that you go to a legal counsel. If you have a YWCA or a domestic violence program around where they have domestic violence advocate that can assist you with escaping your abuser, and they have no contact orders. They can even relocate you if you are afraid for your life and your children, where they can't say that you abandoned them or that you kidnapped the children. Yes, that's domestic violence. See, a lot of people are caught up on the title narcissist abuse. Narcissist abuse is domestic violence. It just so happened that you're being abused. Thank you so much, Telsha. But domestic violence, it is domestic violence. It just so happened that your abuser, possibly based on the symptoms and based on the behavior, is probably a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. And if they have narcissistic personality disorder and they fit these categories, that is the individual that is committing domestic violence. And so it is domestic violence. It's actually, it's narcissist abuse because you're being abused by a person with narcissism. So we assume, based on the information we have, but really it is domestic violence. It is domestic violence. That's just like an individual that has, that's a psychopath or has, or they're a sociopath. That's not sociopath abuse. That's not psychopath abuse. It is domestic violence by an individual that or what about a person that has PTSD or drug and alcohol addiction? That is not drug addiction abuse. That is not a PTSD abuse. That is an individual that has a specific disorder or mental health illness that is committing the abuse. You see what I mean? So drugs and alcohol is not why the person is committing the abuse. That is a coping skill. That is totally different than the abuse itself. So usually we send them to treatment and then we send them to a batterer's course or domestic violence, program. So you guys understand the difference? Yes, it falls under domestic violence. Whether it's emotional, physical, sexual abuse, it's all domestic, exactly. Or financial abuse. Or some of you guys don't even realize that physical abuse may not be, a lot of you say, well, he never or she never put her hands or his hands on me. But did you know that when a person is talking and they won't let you go to sleep and they're antagonizing you, or they won't allow you to go to sleep, so like that sleep deprivation, that's physical abuse. What about like they're talking to you and they don't want you to leave the room until they're finished talking, so they block the door and won't let you leave out of the house or won't let you leave out of the bedroom or take your keys where you can't leave? That's actually physical abuse. That is actually physical abuse. The screaming and the yelling and the gaslighting, that's emotional abuse. Financial abuse, where they take all your money, where you don't have access to the bank accounts, or they take all your money out and give you an allowance that's not enough for you to escape, or won't allow you to go get a job, or won't allow you to go get an education, because all of that right there will empower you and help you to leave. And so that is all abuse. Just because a person don't put their hands on you doesn't mean that they're not abusing you. And it's easy because a lot of you who are being educated and you're learning about domestic violence, especially about the narcissist abuse, when you bring it up to the offender, why would you bring it up? This is abuse. This is domestic violence. They're always going to find something that you did to equate it to what they're doing. So be prepared. The finger's always going to be pointed back on you. They're going to project and they're going to divert, so just be prepared. 12 minutes. Okay. He's to break my cell phones and hide my keys. See, won't let you call the police. Absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't realize all the physical abuse. Oh, absolutely. When they won't let you go to sleep, a lot of you guys were tormented and wouldn't allow to go to sleep because they wanted to argue. And some of them are so long-winded and they'll just argue and argue and argue till they wear you out so that you agree with them. Some of them don't like the fact that you disagree with them, so they will argue all. I've heard of people being tormented from 8 o'clock in the evening till 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And that narcissist was so enraged. They would not stop arguing and would not allow them to go to sleep because they would not change their mind and agree with them. And so they tormented them and sleep deprived them. Think about it, even in your house, screaming and yelling and always calling you names, and you're constantly anxious because you don't know what's going to happen when they come in the home. And so as soon as they pull up, you start getting anxious because you're trying to clean up, because you don't know what they're going to do, you don't know what they're going to say, that your home is you're always walking on eggshells. That is domestic violence. Now, true enough, in a lot of states, when you're reporting domestic violence, the police don't want to know anything about screaming and yelling. They don't want to know about screaming and yelling. They want to know whether someone's putting their hands on them. I had the police called on me because I gave the silent treatment. So I had the police called on me. Police looked at me and was like, "What's the problem?" I said, "Nothing. I'm just not arguing." So, think about it. So everything is turned back on you. It's a confusing relationship, and is like no other relationship you've ever been in. And so the average person, and I've read some of the comments on here, and I meant to say something, I just did not get an opportunity to say anything, but some people in there was like, "Well, just leave." Well, if you just left, you wouldn't be just on YouTube talking to me, right? It's not that easy. You can't just jump up and leave. You got things, you're addicted to the abuser. The Stockholm syndrome, that results from the trauma bonding. That's the Stockholm syndrome. You are addicted. Most relationships you're not addicted to. After a while, you break up, things didn't work out. One cheated, one didn't cheat, or whatever. And then you get yourself back together. This is not a normal relationship. This is not a normal relationship, or you wouldn't have so many people literally about to lose their minds and on channels like this. And so the thing about it is that for people to tell you, just go, no contact, just leave, get your stuff and go. Stop telling people that. It's not that easy. That's why we do these videos right here. It's not that easy. Because of the fact that they are trauma bonded, they are literally addicted to another human being. You can be addicted you could be addicted to smoking. You could be addicted to drugs and alcohol. You could be addicted to people. You can be addicted to a person, especially a person that trauma bonded you. That's not normal. People don't trauma bond themselves to you. You see what I mean? Pathetic liars as well. Yeah, and some of them are good liars. Have you believing that they have a helicopter coming to pick you up from on top of their house and you live in the project? How you got a helicopter? You see what I'm saying? Hold on, I can't read it. Give me a second. Let me read what you are saying. Okay. To anybody going through this now, you have my prayers and my heart is with you. You can get through it. I did. You will be okay. This is from Ms. Luba Williams. Best liars. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Christy said, make you think family and friends are the toxic one. Isolate us from them, people who are important to us. Anybody that has the influence on you that can see, think about it. A narcissist pick certain people. There are certain people that they won't try to connect with because they already sense that you're going to expose me and you're going to cause a serious narcissistic injury. They may try and then they'll back up and you just get discarded right away. They're not even fool with you because they're afraid. They already know you're going to do too much damage. And so if they connect with you, a lot of times family and friends can see outside of your circle. You are emotionally attached to this individual, but family and friends, they already know is going to tell you the truth, and they're going to teach you or tell you about this individual. And what they try to do is make make sure they have your trust, isolate you from anybody else, which happens in domestic violence, but they isolate you from anybody else that may have influence on you. People of influence, people that can help you and empower you, are the people that they try to get you away from. Because the longer they can keep you away from society, from your friends and family, the weaker you get, and the more you'll believe every word that comes out of their mouth. They want you to totally rely on them for everything. Everything. Their thoughts, you take their thoughts. They tell you, when it's light outside, when it's dark, when it's payday, when it's time, when you should be happy and when you should not be happy. And so they want total control. They also act one way but another. Basically, their actions don't match their words. Absolutely not. You're right. They'll act. See, that's why a lot of times it's hard to prove to the people on the outside, because they're such wonderful people that make you laugh, and they look like they have all this money, and they're just wonderful, and they give the shirt off of their back, and they help people, and they're just awesome people. But people don't know the torment that their family is going through at home. So a lot of them don't even know the torment of the families at home. And when you stand up for yourself and you start speaking out and telling people what you went through or what you're going through, most people are not going to believe you, because they've got these people charmed. They pulled in flying monkeys. They got people that work on their sides. They've already smeared your name. They already know how they are. I give you an example. One lady, her ex-husband actually was bisexual. And what happened is he disclosed that information to her. Now, she never said anything, but what he started doing, because he was afraid, because he assumed, narcissists assume you think the same way they think. They assume that everybody thinks the same way. They don't trust anybody either. And so he automatically assumed that she was going to go tell people. And what ended up happening is he was telling people that she was telling people that he was bisexual. And she never told anybody that he was bisexual. He told her that he was bisexual, or had been bisexual, or was bisexual, whatever. But she never told anybody. Number one, she said she was embarrassed, so she wasn't going to tell anybody. And number two, it was a smear campaign to make it look like she was crazy. And when it came back to her, she said, I never told anybody that. I never told anybody because I was embarrassed about that. He was telling everybody that I said that. You see what I mean? You see how confusing that whole relationship is, the smear campaign is? They know you know them. They know you know their secrets. They know. That's why with the new supply, some of them won't allow you to talk to that new supply. And some of them will not introduce you to the new supply, because some of you have gained your momentum and you've stood your ground, and now they're afraid of you. They're not going to tell you that they're afraid of you. They'll just antagonize you and harass you, and they're always trying to do something to try to hurt you. But you notice they won't bring the new supply around, because they know that if they bring that new supply around, you're going to say some stuff that's going to validate what that new supply is going through. So they're going to try to make sure they keep a rift between you and that new supply, so that new supply can never get confirmation of some things that are already happening. Narcissists are number one, they are tigers that cannot change their stripes. Tigers will never change their stripes. They are so predictable. Now that you know, they're very predictable, and they do the same thing over and over again. Just because they have a new supply, that, say, for example, you are a pharmacist, but the next supply that they meet is a judge. You as a pharmacist do not have the same language as a judge. Now, say you meet a medical doctor. The medical doctor and the pharmacist may have the same language, but the judge and the pharmacist and the doctor don't have the same language. Let's say you meet a nuclear physicist, or you meet a astronaut. All of those people have different languages, different lifestyle, different social groups, different friends, different languages, different clothing, different dress, different humor. And so they just connect, and they mimic and blend. They blend in perfectly well. They are, what's the word? They're hidden in plain sight. They blend in their environment. That's what they do. He compared himself to my first boyfriend, probably because you told him a lot about your first boyfriend. They believe they're smarter than doctors. They believe they're smarter than anybody. They believe they're smarter than whatever God you worship. Because they want to be worshiped. They are self-centered and self-absorbed, and everything about them is about them. And so, the sad part about it is you make things about them and make them feel good. But once you stop and focus on yourself, they're appalled, because everything is about me. Everything is about me. They're self-absorbed. Me. Mine says she was Jesus. Lord have mercy. See what I'm telling you? Look up my ex-wife. Looked up my ex-wife. Okay, I didn't get that one. Do narcs find replacement for their parents? Maybe someone they admire? Yeah, they do that too. Yeah, they do that too. Absolutely. Yeah. Smarter than the police and can't be touched. They're actually not smarter, they're more manipulative. They know how to manipulative, and they're very convincing and charismatic. They're very convincing and charismatic. They are the 2 minutes, okay. They're the best actors and actresses you'll ever meet in your whole life. You can look at them and almost appalled at how they act. All of a sudden the police shows up and they have this show. Oh my gosh. I'm not even a World War I veteran. I was in the war with the Egyptians. I fought with the Egyptians and I have PTSD. And because I have PTSD, this individual is abusing me, and oh my God, Lord have mercy, help me. They play on the emotions of the people around them. So what do they know may touch a police officer is when they talk about stuff, they figure out what touches a police officer's heart. What touches a doctor's heart, what touches a lawyer's heart, what touches a judge's heart. And sometimes it's the judge or the lawyers or the police officer's pride. So they'll play into their pride and stroke their ego, to get what they want. You see, they are manipulators. Remember I told you they study people enough where they figure out how to touch what buttons to make it do what it do. There we go. Like Ray Charles said, make it do what it do. That's what they do. They're opportunists. Absolutely. They are opportunists. Compulsive liars. Absolutely. Yep. Narcissists are habitual liars. They are Academy Award winners. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. You can actually watch them act it out and you're almost appalled. Like, I cannot believe this fool is doing this. I can't believe people believe them. Believe it. You believed it until you figured them out. Okay, time for the first close. All right, I'm going to be obedience to Miss Telsha and my moderators because they throw phones and clocks and stuff. And so, yeah, bottom feeders, ambush predators. Boy, y'all come up with a bunch of adjectives. I need you guys when I'm writing. Shoot, I'm just sending a word out. Hey, give me some words for this. You guys are good thesaurus. My first one is my first closing. No, I'm going to be obedience. I'm going to be obedient. So I'm going to be obedient, you guys. Normally, I give my moderators a hard time when they're giving me the clock. Normally, if I'm in a flow or something like that, when I'm in a flow and I'm rolling, sometimes I'll wait. I'll tell them to give me just a minute while I get those thoughts out to address something. But usually, when I'm usually done with my little rant and adding on to whatever I'm trying to be obedient to my moderators, so I don't have to give them such a hard time while they're on the other end of the phone rolling their eyes. So, but I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for remember to go give it a review if you thank you, Ms. Luba. Ms. Luba said if you have not purchased my book, go check out my book. Yes, please. So I'm gonna close. So my first closing, and now I'm getting ready to close. I gotta do my closing credits. Okay, y'all give me my closing credits. And so if you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Dr. Carmen Bryant, Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, but hit the bell so you know whenever I come on live or whenever I upload videos, when I do new topics. Also, please go check out my mentors. My book. My book is Unmasking, The Illusion of Perfection. You can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can do ebook, you can do Kindle, or you can get the paperback or the hard copy. Also, check out my mentor's YouTube channel. It is Helen Sadler, Destiny Helper. That is my mentor. She's the presiding prelate of Into His Chamber of Global Ministries. That means presiding prelate means she's the senior pastor of the church. She's my mentor and she's my spiritual parent and was my counselor, is my counselor, still my counselor. Therapists need counselors too. And so she is my spiritual advisor, and she is an awesome, powerful woman of God. Please go check out her YouTube channel. For those of you that are not Christians, that are not believers, she also does like me, and she also addresses those that are not believers to give you insight, spiritual insight about what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a narcissist. And so please know that though you have a different belief system, neither one of us try to discriminate against what your belief is. We just tell you what we believe, and for me, I do it more on the clinical setting. I do confess my belief, but I do provide you with information on a clinical setting. My email address has been posted over on YouTube. It is drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. So it's drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Really, I opened it up in December timeframe to help you, or actually it was during the Thanksgiving holiday. I opened it up to help you guys pass through the holidays, and I gave discounted prices for coaching to help you guys, during those times, the holidays where there was going to be a holiday Hoover. But this has really, really been very productive because a lot of you don't do the long-term coaching. You just need somebody to kind of set some goals up with you and help you and talk to you a little bit. And so I've kind of decided to leave it at the discount for a little while for those of you that are wanting to contact me and do a consultation or to do a coaching session. And it's really been productive for a lot of people. I've heard messages back that somebody has won court case. Some people have moved on. Some people sent me pictures on how wonderful they look now. And do know that sometimes I can't respond to all emails and all messages that are sent because I get hundreds and thousands of, well, I'm not going to say hundreds of thousands. I get hundreds of emails on a daily basis, and I have clientele. But also for those of you, some of you really need counseling. Please invest in yourself. You are your greatest investment. If the helper is destroyed, you can't help nobody else. Don't try to go make videos because people can pick up on you when you are on camera. They can pick up on whether or not you're hurt. They can pick up on whether you're angry because you can tell by the way you provide the information. I can tell when people are actually there, when they've been hurt, like coaches that talk. And then all of a sudden I watch a couple of videos and I'm like, you done ran into another narcissist, or you've been hurt by somebody, or you have not forgiven, or you have not moved beyond where you can help people. People can tell when you're on camera. And so you have to get healing first. So invest in yourself. Those of you that can, if you need a therapist within the local area, go to Psychology Today, look up therapists in your area, trauma professionals. She gave me the 2X mark, but the trauma professionals, or go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen, and they will give you discounted prices. They will give you a 10% discount by using my link. This is a sponsored link, by using my link. And on top of that, if you are having financial difficulty, because it is a nominal fee, and if you're having financial difficulties, if you let them know, they do have grants available to you. So they're giving me my last call. Oh, New Dawn Rises done jumped in here. Oh, you a comedian now, huh? Telsha, first it was Just Be Real. Telsha jumped on. Now New Dawn Rising and started throwing clocks and stuff. Well, 3 of them. Okay, they all in agreement. So I'm going to let you guys go. I know you guys are going to start throwing clocks and X's and point your finger through the screen. I'm going to be obedient now. Now that I'm finished, thank you so much, Ms. Brenda. She said, Dr. Carmen does respond. You're a blessing. Oh, thank you. I respond sometimes. I can't respond to everybody, but I do respond sometimes. So sometimes I read them. Sometimes, hey, like I told you guys, okay, this is the screen. When your emails and your messages are this long, I don't have time to read all that. I mean, the letters are like, you got to remember, the letters are like, can you guys see these letters? The letters are like this big. And I got to wear the glasses. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm getting ready to go. They told me to get off. They told me if I don't get off right now, they're coming to knock on my door. And they're on the East Coast, some of them. Telsha is in California. She says she coming up here immediately. She says she coming up to visit and she gonna poke me in the head when she sees me. I told you get off. Thank you so much. Right, she trying to do it all in one night again. Y'all leave me alone. I'm gonna get off. Hey, once again, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you guys for keeping me on track. Thank you so much. I already know. Telsha, you gonna meet me, gonna poke me in the head. I told you get off 4 hours ago. Thank you so much. Houston, okay. But thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you supporting me. Thank you so much. If you want to donate, please don't hesitate. I have a Cash App and I do have a PayPal link that is up underneath my videos. It does help me to continue doing what I'm doing, writing another book. I want to put some classes together, but remember, things that's not free. You coming too? Oh, you are coming. But remember, these things are not free. And so a lot of times when I have to come out of my pocket to do a lot of stuff, it take a little while to do it. But when you guys help and join the cause, it helps me to be able to create stuff for you when you don't see me on camera. I do want to create classes, but of course, that's also going to cost money when you do like recorded webinars and classes, but I am going to do classes for you guys. But remember, when my little angel from Canada, she blessed me with a beautiful computer, which helped me to get on and start doing podcasts, and doing more. And so I really appreciate you guys. I love each and every one of you. I love you guys back. If you send for me to go to Toronto, Ontario, Canada, if you send for me, you have a platform and you send for me, I will come. I do have a fee. So she says she gonna whip me with a belt. All right, well, that's enough that I'm getting off. Hey, thank you guys so much. You guys go and be great. You're gonna whip me with a belt. I'm through. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.